questions since we got everybody seated. My name is Rebecca Tourino Collinsworth. I am the Artistic Director of Parley, and on behalf of Parley and Teatro, I want to welcome you to our workshop production of Two Big Black Bags by Julieta Vitullo. Before we start, I want to thank the entire team at ACT for sharing this opportunity with us and allowing us to broaden our audience. It's wonderful to see people that we've never met before here. I also want to thank Teatro for their beautifully generous, warm embrace of the process that we've been through putting this workshop together. Some of you here may be familiar already and fans of ESE. Some of you may be fans of Parley, and some may be new to both organizations. I'd like to read ESE's mission for you. Founded in 2010, ESE Teatro honors self-definition and inclusion, striving to represent all the colors in the rainbow of brown of our Latinidad. We'd also like to mention that tonight is the 59th world premiere that Parley has produced in since 2014. We are especially proud of this. We work with a group of gifted local playwrights, and we meet with them week in and week out over many years. And we are with them from the first idea to the first scene, to the first draft, first rehearsal, and beyond. So we're immensely proud to be able to share this with you tonight. You're about to see our version of a workshop production. Everybody does it a little bit differently. For us, we are afforded much less of a rehearsal process than most fully produced productions, much less than half the amount of rehearsal time. For that reason, you'll see our actors holding our scripts in their hands. What we can offer them, besides a shortened rehearsal process, is some sound support, some lighting support, and some light staging. In this case, not so light. There's a lot of staging. So I do want to thank the actors for their immense dedication in making this happen. There will be one intermission, about an hour in, for about 10 minutes. I think that's all. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the show.
Man, I feel small. Look at this place. I came up with a really good Machu Picchu joke. Listen to the silence. Doesn't it make you feel like everything will unfold from it at any moment? Listen to my joke. It's from the 3-act series, like the Knock Knock jokes. First act, shh. Feel this. Your whole life, human history, the memories of the ancestors you are suddenly aware of, the life of this planet, the universe, all of that unfolding in front of us.
All right. The times call for solemnity. Maybe it is a moment for a letter to Alyssa.
Dearest Alyssa, you will roll your eyes at your South American man who left everything behind and became a gringo, only to find later that in order to be himself again, he needed to go on a journey down the continent and wind up on a vision quest which would finally allow him to return home whole.
That is the longest sentence I've ever heard in my life. You're going to put her to sleep.
Where shall I begin? From the beginning? 9 months ago.
You have to show her.
Allow us to tell you a story
of a man adrift who experienced a rift and was given a gift.
Let us take you on an adventure.
from an icy cold island in the confines
Of the southern hemisphere, beyond the lines
Of a world known to him which, by design, was one of cultures that intertwine.
for the purpose of peace, not war.
From the southern seas to the north, he sailed on an enemy's ship
to bring forth
the bravery in him,
and the cowardice in him.
The guilt in him.
and the elusive like a hymn.
For the sake of his salvation, giving up on all his dreams, leading to his degradation, and from the north where he found love, back to the south to get rid of.
We'll let the story roll once he wakes up. He does better when he can wake up from dreamland all by himself. Oh. So much for that.
Hello.
Hey, I've been calling your cell phone.
What cell phone?
What cell phone?
I don't have one anymore.
Oh, well that's good to know. Did you leave it at the pawn shop?
What time is it?
Almost 10. Rose wants to talk to you. Hi, puppy.
Hey, sweetie, how's my baby?
I'm good.
Daddy has to work today, but he's gonna pick you and your sister up tomorrow and take you to the park.
Can we have ice cream?
Have you and June been good for your mommy?
We are taking the garbage out.
Really? Those big bags? All by yourself? That's impressive. Maybe there'll be some ice cream.
Are you sick, puppy?
No, honey, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
No, I'm fine. Everything's okay. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow.
What's wrong?
Everything's great. What's June up to?
She took all the pots and pans out of the cabinet and made a big mess.
All right. Okay, Munchkin, tell her I'll see her tomorrow.
I'm gonna have Rocky Road.
That sounds yummy. Daddy has to go now.
Bye, puppy. I love you to Mars.
I love you too, sweetie, to Mars and back.
You are pathetic.
You? Here?
Yep. Just in time.
Time for what?
To help you tell your story.
What are those bags?
Well, that's what everybody's dying to know.
Oh, my head is killing me. Don't come to me with your demands.
Whoa. Demands? Maybe if your head is killing you, you should ask yourself why.
Oh, I probably had too much whiskey.
And where was that?
At the casino. Duh.
So you're back at it again, I gather.
Why do you ask questions you already know? As if you actually have to stand there and talk to me.
Shit. My ears are ringing. Again? Huh? This'll help. What day is today?
I don't know, Saturday?
What date?
Jesus, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is.
Didn't you just ask Alyssa that?
Man, you are a piece of work. Were you actually listening to my phone conversation?
No, I don't need to.
Right. Oh, it's 10 already? There's no way I'm going into work this late. Maybe I don't need to go anymore. Is that one bag? Or two? I think I'm still too drunk.
Not too drunk. I'm here. See?
Is it for real? I never could have scored like this.
And yet, there's the money.
It's impossible. I remember having the worst night, and then I got home and I couldn't sleep a wink.
Correct. What happened?
I didn't win. Not once. I was still half drunk when I went and sat in the lounge.
Then he ordered his 4th Jameson. And that's when it all started. The waiter told him the lady across the dance floor wanted to treat him to it. He was clumsy. He's surprisingly out of practice. He used to be a real player. A newly arrived Sudaka, pretending not to be one.
An imposter.
A deserter.
All the way from the ass of the world to London and from there,
Back to the USA, but still a Sudaka.
once a Sudaka, always a Sudaka.
Un recién llegado a USA buscando hacerse la América.
Hey, South Americans can have American dreams too.
May I join you?
Sure.
I haven't seen you around here before. Where has this handsome young man been hiding? Enchanté.
She must have told me her name. What was it?
Molly. And your name?
I'm James.
James who drinks Jameson. Huh? How come I haven't met your acquaintance here before?
Why should you have? Do you come here often?
So out of practice.
Do I come here often? Honey, I practically live here. The music, the lights, the parties are my home. It's okay.
You must not hang out that close to the blackjack tables.
Ah, a blackjack boy.
Low house edge. Luck and skill, but today I'm lacking either.
Tonight you come into the lounge so that our destinies could converge. Let me have your hand, James. A long and healthy life ahead of you, but Lord, do you show a rocky road behind you. Pain, loss, adventure. Maybe a failed marriage and some children? El Camino de Santiago. Do you know that your name would be Santiago in Spanish?
How did she know?
What are these? Tell me,
You-
James.
Take an interest in religion.
Tell me when is your birthday?
April 2nd.
Of course it is. An Arius. Confident, passionate, combative. Not too much of a saint, like your namesake from the gospel, eh?
Apocryphal.
Very good. You know things. You haven't even touched the drink I gave you.
It's bitter. Excuse me.
Pretty.
You take an interest in religion.
Yes, in the esoteric. Does that surprise you?
It's unusual.
For a lady like me? What are those lines under your
The
hand?
music can get loud in here.
Well, I also take an interest in dancing.
And he danced 2, 3 songs maybe, till she predictably asked him to accompany her to her room, supposedly to find a lost earring.
Are you going to take off your shirt so I can see the pretty drawings?
So soon?
Close your eyes and open your heart.
She took him for a ride. Where did they go? What'd you see?
It all happened so fast. I saw two big black bags sitting by the door. I looked to see if Molly was still here. Molly! She was gone. Have those bags been there all along?
Maybe. Maybe not.
I checked the contents of the bags. Holy fuck! I thought hard for a split second. I went to the balcony and looked over the railing. Just a few stories above a huge empty parking lot.
You dragged the bags to the balcony. Money is heavy.
But not too heavy to be lifted above the railing and thrown into a parking lot. Making a living as a mover has its payoffs.
Making a living. Maybe you were feeling particularly strong that day. They must have been 100 pounds apiece.
I discreetly left the room, took the elevator to the garage. Somehow I managed to find my car and go around the building to the parking lot, and there they were, my two friends waiting for me. I stuck them in the trunk and took off.
Wait. You never answered my question. What's the date?
January 12th, 13th,
Of what year?
2007.
Okay then.
Okay then?
There you go. Let's keep rolling. Come on, dude. We're almost done here.
You finish it, I'm tired.
I'm not surprised you hardly got any sleep.
I didn't feel like sleeping. I must have crashed for an hour before the phone rang.
Not an excuse not to help.
But I did my share and got us the rubber bands.
50 times 100, 50 times 20. Could have gotten us a cell phone or a calculator now that you have the money.
It would have been so much better and easier if it was only hundreds. And in stacks, like you see in the movies.
Correct, genius. This isn't a movie. Keep complaining.
I guess if they were all neat and tidy, we'd have to worry that they were all consecutive and easy to track.
Sorry to break the news to you. They're all consecutive. They're all out of order, but they're all part of the same batch right out the oven.
How do you know?
Look. Last year, 2006. Same two front letters and the same first 5 digits. Then, they change. You could spend all 2007 trying to put them back in order. You'd get sick of Ben Franklin's mug.
What am I going to do then? I can't hang on to this. We need to get rid of it.
What is wrong with you? This could be the answer to all your problems. Can't you accept a good thing when it happens to you?
I was just thinking about 9/11. I know it's rude to say it, but that was one good thing that happened to me. I was just thinking about it earlier when I went to get the rubber bands.
Because Seattle on a gray afternoon looks just like Manhattan on that blue sky morning?
One of those September mornings when summer gives into fall.
A morning so oblivious to the fact that history was about to change.
No. Because there was a woman standing in front of me waiting for the light who reminded me of Alyssa that day. She had a purple blouse and her hair fell on her shoulders just like Alyssa's when I first saw her.
Dark mauve.
She was standing still as I ran by her. I sensed something in her presence and turned around. Nobody was as serene as she was. She had just walked away from her own death.
You asked her,
Do you need help?
but she couldn't speak. You held her hand and moved her out of the way so she wouldn't be run over by the crowd.
Nobody knew it yet.
But you were all running away from history.
You stared at each other for a long pause while the world around you was coming to an end. Then you spoke.
Were you up there?
South Tower. I had just gotten my desk on the 84th floor.
Out in the sky, oblivious birds flew by.
Down at the river, unmindful boats sailed by.
Birds unaware.
Boats unaware.
I saw a giant fireball in my peripheral vision, and there were so few people in the office that I just started going to all the cubicles to see who to talk to. And I looked through the window, and there were people jumping out of the North Tower down to their deaths. A few minutes later, the fire warden came to our floor and told us that we should evacuate. I went back to my desk to get my purse, and then I saw it. The plane was coming towards us. We felt a shock, and it got hot. I sensed something above, and I looked up, and the ceiling crashed down next to me. The cable struck my arm. I guess it was a live wire. It brushed against my wrist, and it pushed me down on the ground. I smelled burnt flesh, but I didn't look. I ran to the stairs, and I ran, and I ran, and I don't know if anyone else made it out alive.
And your heart melted in a slow but intense fire. You instinctively hugged her, and she let you. And then you got out of that mess and crossed the Brooklyn Bridge together. Not long after, on a chilly afternoon, you had a picnic by the East River. The acrid smell of burning still saturating the air, and a dust cloud forever hovering above you. And you told her everything.
Amidst flags
and patriotic slogans
that
that
spoke
spoke
of
of
God.
Revenge and country.
The frantic news of an impromptu anthrax plot echoing in their ears.
Do you believe it when they say everything happens for a reason?
I used to, but then I realized that was just lazy thinking. If I believe it now, our encounter would be justified by horror and suffering. There was no reason behind what happened and nothing to justify it. So I don't think we were meant to be. It just so happens that you and I were there at the same time, and we survived together.
I need you to know something. This isn't my first time surviving.
And just like that, he told her things he hadn't told anybody before. The veteran card isn't one you want to play around women. Most wouldn't want to touch you with a 10-foot pole. But when he poured his heart out to her, she took it all in. Why?
Because she was hurting too.
Right. He felt as if the pain had gone away. But he didn't look under his sleeves. And neither did she. He took a deep breath for the first time in 20 years. They went camping together and lay under the stars.
Santiago or Enrique, after your original first and middle names, if it's a boy.
I never get that. I know it's a girl. What was your grandmother's name, the one you met?
Prudence.
Scratch that.
Hey!
They'll bully her at school.
How about your Irish grandmother?
Rose? I was the only one that called her Rose. Granny Rose.
Well, what about your sisters?
Just abuela. Not so Irish. Some people in the neighborhood called her Señora Rosa, but remember the baker and the butcher and some other store owners who tried hard and greeted her every day.
Buenos dias, Mrs. Rose.
Well, how come she never adopted Spanish? Didn't most of the immigrants embrace the Argentine way as soon as they got off the boat?
Her sisters did, because they were younger. But she was the oldest, already a teenager and struggled to learn. So, in public, she kept to herself and spoke English around the house.
Vení para acá.
Che, ¿qué te pasa?
Aw, how lonely.
My dad and his siblings never spoke back to her in English, and over time they lost it. So nobody spoke nothing but Spanish in my parents' house, even though we lived with my grandma and her Spanish was so limited. But then, I was born.
And Grandma Rose's heart melted because your first word was water. Water.
Little did she know English would save my life. She saved me. I would love to call our little baby girl Rose.
And sing her one of your grandma's Irish lullabies.
$9,999,351. Now that you're done with your nostalgic interlude, I could really use your attention.
What?
9,999,351. That's a chunk of cash.
I was daydreaming about Alyssa.
We got that. It could be 10 million. Maybe we miscounted.
I was having nice thoughts. I don't get in that mindset often. I wish she would give me another chance.
She's given you plenty.
I was there for her when she started going cuckoo with all the memories about the towers after Rose was born. We even moved to Seattle because she wanted to get away. She owes me.
That's not owing. That's called love. You were there for her because that's what partners do.
So why isn't she there for me?
Because she tried. And tried. But you pushed her away with your gambling and your drinking and your selfishness.
Selfishness?
What else do you call someone who doesn't accept help? How long are you going to play the veteran card? Here. We're not counting again. We know what we've got, and now we've got some nice handy stacks.
Why do you always bother me with your reality checks? Why are you even here?
Oh, you ask me. You should ask yourself. Now let's get to work. What's the plan?
What plan? Go away.
I can't.
Why not?
You won't let me.
Go away! I give you permission to go.
Be grateful.
For what?
Imagine if I had come in some other iteration.
The guilty one?
The controlling one.
The punishing one. The unmerciful one.
The bearer of ghosts.
The annoying one.
Oh, you are right. At least you're only being annoying.
Here. Drink some water. It always helps.
We didn't miscount. I bet the missing change explains why there are a bunch of smaller bills among the tens of thousands of $100 bills.
Good. I like the way you're thinking now, assuming your responsibilities.
Now you tease me.
I mean it. I like that you're taking charge, getting acquainted with your new situation.
There is no new situation.
Are you serious?
I don't feel like this is my money.
You found the bags.
And so what? That doesn't make me deserving of this.
Deserving? Are you out of your mind? Get over it. A penny saved is a penny earned. Good old Benjamin here would say. You save it, you earn it. Would you rather keep gambling, wishing for the remote possibility of a fraction of this figure?
9,999,351 is 649 short of 10 million. What did they spend 649 bucks on?
There you go. Paying attention for a change. Does that number ring any bells?
Bells. The bells are in my ears. If you don't drive me crazy, this ringing will.
Oh, really? You think that's going to help? Don't do this now. I thought we were getting somewhere. No, please. 649. That's quite a number. 649. Don't forget it.
Go and take your mysteries and riddles away.
¡Santiago! ¿Dónde estás, Santiago? ¡Te van a matar, Santiago!
Ramon, why did you have to go look for him? Santiago is such a coward. He would never have done the same for you. You are so nice. He is a coward. He's a scaredy cat. Oh, you are so nice. And he is such a scaredy cat. You are too nice.
Don't be discouraged by this nightmarish interlude.
Life isn't made out of roses.
Adventures of large magnitude.
Grandmother's fortitude.
And all that memory imposes.
Life can be cruel. Luck is but a jewel.
And what we make with it is fate, let's face. Because a drawn number would replace
James's small-town life of calm with our own Vietnam.
So his bad fortune
He said.
was like being peed on by dinosaurs.
He said.
In that number, there was no mystery.
He was thrown head-on into history.
Why in heaven's sake did they send me to these islands on the ass of the world?
Porque es una causa justa.
Why me?
Para defender la patria.
Why now?
Porque las Malvinas son Argentinas.
And because the general and his henchmen want to stay in power.
Stop complaining. You get to shoot a bloody brick. Isn't that an honor for an Irish? Come
My homeland is my family, my grandma.
Tras su manto de Medellín,
que vengan,
no las
les presentaremos batalla.
Las Malvinas, Argentinas, clama el viento, ruge el mar.
I want to go home.
War is not for cowards, cabrón. I está diablo. Let him freeze his balls.
The Malvinas
Sandy is plant a penguin. Mel!
Everyone knows the Malvinas are Argentine because they are only 600 kilometers from the Argentine continental platform and Patagonia. The Spaniards and then the newly independent Argentina set claim on the islands, but the British invaded in 1833, despite the efforts of the brave gaucho Antonio Rivero. They stole the islands away from us, and they've occupied them ever since. The Malvinas are a piece extirpated from the homeland and must be reclaimed and defended. All Argentines know that the Malvinas are Argentine. An Argentine who does not know the Malvinas are Argentine is not an Argentine.
Oh, shit! Fuck me.
Well,
Alyssa, hi.
do you know what time it is?
Listen.
What the fuck, Jay?
You don't have to say anything. I know, okay?
You are such a loser.
Don't say that in front of the girls.
Oh, don't worry. They're outside waiting for you.
Look, I don't know when I'm gonna get to see them again. Something came up, and I know it's frustrating. I really do.
Where are we going?
We is too many people. Guess I'm sober again.
You know, if you keep chugging those energy drinks, we're going straight to the ER. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Aren't you going to tell me where we're going? South. Are we going to Mexico? Are we going to South America?
South America? Dude, that's far. Have you ever looked at a map?
Nope. I'm the ignorant of the two. I wasn't around for the fun part of learning. Did you bring your passport? How do you think they're gonna let us cross with those things in the back?
I told you there's no we, go away.
Are we ever gonna stop at some point? Think you can get rid of me now? Now that you've made the decision to go south.
What decision? I'm just driving. What does that have to do with anything? What does that even mean?
Oh. Oh! Oh. I see.
What? Oh. What's that about?
Oh. Nothing.
What?
Nothing. I just realized you don't know where you're going.
No, I don't know. Yet. I just figured, get the money out of the country and see how I can break up the bills so they can't be traced.
Oh. I see.
You see what?
I see. You have no plan. I thought you were a few steps ahead, but you are several steps behind. Woo!
Cut that out! Are you crazy?
Local show. I'm just like you. Different and the same.
Do you think somebody's looking for the money?
Maybe.
That woman. What was her name?
Molly.
Right. Molly. Holy crap. Molly. Do you think that Molly...
I don't think nothing. I wasn't there.
But then you were. You showed up right after. Do you think...
I don't know
Holy
anything.
shit. Do you think...
You
that
were drunk. So I wasn't there.
I wasn't just drunk. Or was I? I never know when you are and aren't there.
That's because I am and I am not, aren't I?
The sleep deprivation, the sweats.
Look, there's hardly a line. I thought we were going to be here for hours, but we might just go straight through.
That's not good. It gives them more time to check the car.
Passport, please.
Aquí tiene, oficial.
How long are you staying for?
Una semana o dos.
1 or 2?
Una. No, dos. Dos.
You need to fill out this permit. It's 130 pesos or $10 US.
Aceptan?
Decline.
Aquí tiene, oficial.
So what are you bringing, eh? ¡Ay, Dios! Pinche cabrón, did you think die in your trunk? Ay, Dios mío, just go, just leave.
Bienvenido a México, cabrones!
Ándale! That is what I call a fortuitous bar.
You are welcome.
All right, on! Welcome to Tijuana, tequila, sexo y marihuana. Welcome to Tijuana, con el coyote no hay guana. Welcome to Tijuana, tequila, sexo y marihuana. Tequila, Tijuana. Welcome to Tijuana. Bienvenida, coyote no hay guana. Welcome to Tijuana, tequila, sexo y marihuana. Welcome to Tijuana, con el coyote no hay guana. How did you pull that off?
My
silent weapon. Blame it on the energy drinks.
Why did you hide? It's not like they were going to see you.
You never know. Some people are more perceptive than others. Good job on bringing the extra cash.
I don't want to touch the big money unless we absolutely have to.
Agreed. Only if there's a valid reason.
That cabron cop didn't want to speak to me in Spanish. Did you notice?
Yeah, that was to be expected. You look like a gringo, sound like a gringo, and drive a beat-up Beamer with a Washington State license plate.
Speak like a gringo. Didn't you hear me speak Spanish?
People believe their eyes more than their ears. Besides, you can't have it both ways.
What is that supposed to mean?
You renounced your Argentine-ness decades ago. And now you expect to be treated as a Latino?
I didn't renounce.
Well, not technically. But you never went back. You don't follow what's going on there. You lost contact with everyone. You pretend to not speak the language when you're around other Latinos. You stopped following soccer. You don't even drink mate.
Are you saying soccer and mate define the Argentine condition?
That and the Malvinas. Don't they? You speaking Spanish to that cop doesn't even count. You thought it was going to play to your advantage to sound like a Mexican. I heard you disguise your accent.
Nobody likes us.
That's true. How does an Argentine commit suicide?
He climbs
High up on his ego and jumps.
I was trying to sound neutral.
You've always been good at pretending to be someone else. You're a bit of an imposter, and you know it.
But you are making too much of it. I like playing with accents. Remember how Grandma used to teach us?
She taught you. I don't remember much of that.
Oh, come on. How could you not?
Oh, memory.
Granny!
One had a lovely face,
And 2 or 3 had charm.
but charm and face were in vain, because the mountain grass cannot but keep the farm where the mountain hare has lain.
Do it again. But this time, pretend you're an American.
Oh. One had a lovely face. 2 or 3 had charm. But charm and face were in vain.
Again. Be a bloody Englishman.
Don't be asking me to be the bloody English. You be the bloody English.
Okay, I'll try. Because the mountain grass cannot but keep the fun, where the mountain hare has lain.
That poem was meant to be said with the sweetness of our brogue, but you're getting better at pretending to be a bloody English.
Granny, what if the wolf came looking for the hare? Do you think he would see the patch of grass where it is laid and known it was a hare?
Ah, you ask such complicated questions. What do you think?
I think I'm scared of the wolf.
Don't worry, there aren't any wolves left in Ireland.
But we're not in Ireland.
I know, but the hare is as Irish as the poem.
Wait, what do you mean there are no more wolves in Ireland?
Ah, but don't blame it on the bloody English. They pushed it into extinction a long time ago when they colonized our land and declared our language savage.
Is that what happened? Did Grandma really tell you that story?
Where are you taking me? Are we going home?
I don't know yet, Grandma. It's hard to go home knowing I won't find you there anymore. Look, there are bugs on the windshield. Like back in the day when we went on road trips. Have you noticed there are no lights on the highways anymore? You must see the windshield all splattered with their insides, don't you?
Is that why you've never gone back? Because you won't find me there.
When I found out about your death, I was on the islands. It was the day they released Felipe after a whole night out in the cold.
Felipe?
We met at a base in Patagonia before they sent us to the islands. We were assigned to the same battalion and became close right away. He and I and another private named Ramon. Brothers in arms, only without the arms.
Without? At war?
They gave me a rifle. It didn't work. Felipe's ran out of ammunition after a couple days of target practice, and he could never reload it. Ramon's worked, but he was too scared to shoot.
They punished Felipe for stealing a can of milk.
Who did that?
Our superiors.
The letter they brought said you had passed away.
Of
Sadness.
How come, Grandma? You were supposed to die much older. And a few days later, Felipe died of pneumonia.
As he allowed the ghosts to visit him, he made an oath on a whim. The howling of the coyotes, a soundtrack to his musings, out in the Mexican desert. Such beauties for the mind to wonder and ask, who sings?
Us! It's us! It's us! It's us!
Of Alyssa,
He fantasized.
past and present.
He revised.
The past had slipped through his fingers, like the sand we saw out the window. But every now and then, a memory still lingers, like the outline of your head resting on a pillow.
Like the hair on the mountain grass.
Remember that time back east when an army of coyotes surrounded our tent?
It wasn't a gentle howl.
No, more like a bark. America's original national anthem. They're calling other packs, a sort of a population census. If they don't get the response, then their systems will trigger a response to produce larger litters, resilience in the face of distress.
They do better than the Irish wolves.
Huh?
Oh, nothing. A story my grandma told.
Let's get out of New York. I am sick of being reminded of my sadness every day.
Where would we go?
As far away as possible. Let's move to Seattle.
They have coyotes there too, you know.
I know, it's not that. It's
I know, my love. If you think it'll help you, let's go.
I guess they found each other. Maybe they'll go away now.
They're like us then. How long after 9/11 did we make Little Rose?
Maybe a week?
Let's make another baby now.
We crossed the desert of Sonora, and soon enough came the aurora. Dude, stop daydreaming. We need to find a place to eat, sleep, and shower. I can't drive anymore. You do realize we've been driving for 36 hours?
And I've been sober for 24.
You've made a promise, haven't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those bags! You know exactly where you're taking them.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
I can never tell if you're knowingly clueless or cunningly calculating.
Same here. I never know if you're a willful pain in my ass or an accidental godsend.
Well, that's our dilemma, isn't it?
What is?
You know, you sometimes look at something and see it's double.
No. Maybe.
Yes, you do. You stare at a thing, a spoon on a table, the blade of a knife, a letter written on a piece of paper, and suddenly it's two things.
You okay?
You surprise yourself. It's like magic. How could there be two things if there's only one? You see the thing in its replica and you tell yourself, wow, it's amazing what the eyes can do.
And yet the replica isn't exactly like the original. It's a deformed version of it.
Right. So you analyze them, compare them.
But then you blink.
Exactly. And the next thing you know, the replica is gone. Poof. Vanished.
So you tried again to fix your gaze, but it doesn't work anymore.
You realize you can't control it. You can't bring it back.
Okay, so?
It's the same with you and me. We can't control each other. Neither of us.
And yet you don't show up just randomly.
And neither do you randomly fix your gaze. There's always an intent.
And what would that be? To get me in trouble?
You call that trouble? I call that an opportunity.
I'm just a loser.
I won't argue with that. But it doesn't have to be so. Who lifted that money over the balcony and managed to get it out of the hotel? Who drove out there and somehow brought the bags here? You must have done something right to manage that.
Are you saying it was a prize? That I'm being rewarded for my good behavior?
I'm saying it's an opportunity. You've had opportunities in life, and you've taken them. But then, instead of turning them into something, you went and wasted them. It doesn't always have to be like that.
And wasting it in this case would mean gambling the money.
Gambling the money. Getting yourself in jail. Getting so hammered so that I don't bug you anymore.
Did you figure that out?
Of course I did. I know that all you have to do is go to a liquor store and
Well, first
get
you
wasted.
have to get out of the desert.
And then I'd be gone. Alcohol limits you. Rather than expanding your consciousness, it narrows it. Why do you think it's legal?
You're pretty wise for your age. And yet we all give in to the alcohol at some point.
You all.
All of us. All 10,000 of us lunatics who went to the islands, including those who committed suicide. They won't tell you that, but I know that at some point or another, we all tried to drink ourselves to death.
To oblivion.
To nothingness. To not have to deal with the memories. To the fact that we are disposable. Or worse, to the realization that we should be tucked away in a corner like an ugly, beat-up piece of furniture, out of sight, out of mind. Oh, it's a useful piece, where you store a bunch of crap you don't want to throw away, but you don't want to deal with the crap either, so you keep it there, in hiding. Do you think I don't know what it's like for the majority of them who stayed home? They get on a bus, repeating their stories like a litany, begging for money, and people look away. They put up their tents in the park and become a public nuisance. They wear discolored uniforms that refuse to let the memories fade. Some don't even fit into them anymore because they've gained too much weight. They're not 18 anymore. The war is over, people think. Why are they still wearing those fucking clothes?
Stop resisting me then. Don't let them tell you that somehow I'm your problem. That you've gone crazy.
It's hard to live with you and not think I'm crazy. I used to be whole until one day you showed up out of nowhere.
Yes, I remember.
It was in a restaurant kitchen in London.
Washing dishes at an Indian restaurant.
How long after the war?
Not long. A few months.
You took one of the dishes out of my hands. I freaked out.
Yes, you did.
You wouldn't leave me alone.
No, I wouldn't. I wanted you to deal with your mess.
For years.
For years. Until you met Alyssa.
But that didn't last very long.
No, it didn't.
What if it was the other way around? What if you were momentarily more complete again because I'm here? Have you ever thought that many people are split one way or another? But maybe they're just unaware or unwilling to deal with the different sides of themselves. Who can be whole in this world? My presence right at this moment in this situation may be an indication that you want better.
Yet I can make you go away at any time. I know what to do.
If I leave, you'll be carrying those ghosts all by yourself.
My ghosts?
Whereas if I stay,
Then what?
I've got an idea. Get us out of this desert and let's get some sleep. But first, there's something you have to do for me.
What's that?
Stop the car.
Why? Now?
Stop the car. Where'd you put them?
But what?
You thought I didn't know? Come on, let's make this quick. Where's the rest?
That's it.
No, it's not. Give me the money.
Why? What for? It's not gonna matter.
I know you wouldn't touch the bags. Give me the small pile. Now we can go. While the coyotes snatched our boots, we headed to Veracruz. Chihuahua, Salsicho, Jaralito, Zacatecas, and then Despacito.
Until they finally reached the destination, and without further deliberation,
They found a road motel, oh yes, and slept very well.
Coyote cumbia!
People talking to each other. I thought that around in my head at first, and then I figured out, like, okay, I thought it might be that it was in his head the whole time, but I didn't know for sure. But after looking at it first down,
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm picking up what's being put down.
Yeah, that's right.
It's more like you do know, right? Like, conscious is the most elusive one. Yeah, once you're just
¡Soldado Walsh! Los ladrones las pagan.
They found out it was you.
Soldado Walsh, carrera march! Soldado Walsh, usted corre muy mal.
Try harder, or he's gonna kick our ass!
The military junta saved us from the leftist, terrorist, apatriotic, materialistic, atheistic, Marxist-Leninist, subversive enemies of the family, the homeland, and all of Western Christian values!
No sabe robar, no sabe correr. ¿Qué sabe usted hacer, Soldado Walsh? ¿Usted sabe lo que pasa a los ladrones?
On this historic year, 1982, the junta are saving us from the tyrannical English colonist usurpers of our Malvinas, who, along with their mercenaries, are enemies to our nation. Children, repeat and do after me. If you don't jump, you are an Englishman. ¡El que no salta es un inglés! ¡El que no salta es un inglés! ¡El que no salta es un inglés! Please, open! I need help! Por favor, please! Please open! I know that you are there! I see you last night! I hear you! Please help! I hurt my uncle!
My head, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. No, just deal with it. I'm serious, my head, I'm gonna die.
You are experiencing minor withdrawal symptoms. You'll be all right.
Open! I know that you are there. I hurt my uncle.
She needs help. What do we do with the money?
It's my uncle. I hurt my uncle.
Okay, un momentito.
Don't let her know you speak Spanish. Lay down and get rid of her.
Just a moment.
Don't let her in yet. Buy me time.
Just a moment, I'm changing.
Okay.
What's going on? Where's your uncle?
Oh, he's very hurt. You don't look so good.
Where is he? I can't drive at the moment, but we can call an ambulance.
It is so hurt. Let me in there. Oh, my poor uncle. I need to sit down. Oh, my uncle.
Oh, your ankle.
I thought
I need some ice.
I thought you are not alone. You are with someone.
No, it's just me and my loneliness.
You are lonely. I keep you company.
No, that's not what I meant. Is your ankle better? I need to get going soon. You must leave.
But I need help. And I saw you last night. You had something in your car? Big?
I don't know what you're talking about. You must go now.
I have better idea. I travel to Tikal in Guatemala in your car. I and you and I.
Guatemala? That is very far.
Police is very close, do you know? 2 blocks that way. I travel with you, and we are all happy.
Okay, let's go.
Dummy. Watch out when she says her niece. Her niece. Get it?
So, what takes you to Guatemala?
You take me.
I mean, why are you going to Guatemala?
For the same you go. I go because you go.
No, it's the other way around. I go because I'm taking you.
That's the same thing. I go because you go, and you go because I go. It's all the same.
Okay, then. Are you from Veracruz?
I am from all over and nowhere. Like you.
Like me.
Like you. We are, how you say, we go, no, we go, we are like vagabundos.
Vagabonds.
Vagabonds?
We wander.
Wander?
Wander.
Right, wonderful.
We roam.
Rome. I went to Rome. Did you go to
I've
Rome?
never been to Rome.
I meet the Pope.
You met the Pope?
El Papa.
Papa, the potato.
El Papa, not La Papa. Oh, you know. You pretend, but you know. You are how you say?
I'm joking.
Joking.
Joking. Joke.
Joking. Joke. Ah, joke. You are yoking me.
I am not yoking you, but I am yoking. What did he say?
Who?
The Pope.
Ah, the Pope. The Pope is an ass. He doesn't like a witch.
Which witch?
Which witch? This witch.
This witch? What witch?
I'm a witch.
No wonder.
No wonder.
No wonder you are a witch.
We're all witches, James. Except that some know it and some don't. Every single one of us has a witch inside, James. Me, you, your wife, your 2 daughters, your friend in the back seat here. What? You thought I didn't know? We've met before, haven't we? We just need to open our hearts and open our eyes and see. I know what you carry. You may not know it yet, but you will, in time. Just open your eyes and you will see. But remember to open your heart first, or there will be no use for your eyes. Me? I can see a lot of things, like the scars on Mars, without a telescope. I don't need you to pull up your sleeves to see the scars on your arms. Mars, arms, there you have it. A nice anagram. Look at them someday. They are intricate and beautiful scars, like the ones on the face of Ares, the god of war. Mars, the god and the planet, all the same. Scars, like the ones on Mars.
The sky was once a theater of awe and terror. On this, the ancient witnesses all agree.
Awe and terror. How were they not going to believe in the gods when the planets were so close and full of life? Where do your scars come from, James? On Mars, they were caused by a thunderbolt. But not yours, right? It wasn't an actual thunderbolt, but yet it split you in 2.
They drove for half a day to the ruins of a city.
What a wondrous delay, talking about a past so shitty.
But be that as it may, the witch felt no pity.
And that night, stargazing amid the ancient souls of a pyramid,
James revealed a truth that had haunted him since his youth.
I don't quite see it, but I believe you.
It is the Valley Marineris. Some think it was eroded by a river. Imagine such a stupendous geological monument, hundreds of times bigger than the Grand Canyon, carved by the force of a river, the flow of which was so powerful that it shot debris across the universe and even sent red dust to Earth? No, it has to have been caused by a cosmic thunderbolt. Only electrical currents could have drawn those figures. But we don't know exactly, do we? But the marks are there to make us understand what story we should tell. Like the ones on your arms. Look at them. They look just like Mars scars, just like Elisa's electrical trees. An electric calamity of cosmic proportions.
Being tortured by a military who sent you to fight a war so far away from home is not a cosmic calamity.
Neither was it an absurdity, as some say.
And no, and 9/11 wasn't an absurdity either. It was a crime.
Some say it wasn't just a terrorist attack.
Look, I don't know how much you know about the Malvinas, but it was all planned and calculated. The US-backed military dictatorship and the economic powers that allied with it spent 6 years pretending to be at war, when in fact, they were massacring their own people. Some still call it a dirty war, but it was no war. It was state terrorism. 30,000 disappeared. Dragged out of their homes at night, the babies of pregnant women taken away, men and women tortured, thrown out of planes into a river. And then, when the dictatorship was in decline, and the generals were afraid to lose power, they decided to play real war, riling up people behind a good old national cause. But most of them so-called professional warriors didn't go to war. It was easier to stay back in their warm homes next to their families, so they sent us, useful idiots, and cannon fodder all in one. But then, they couldn't help themselves. They had to torture us too, like they had tortured the population back on the continent. And now they celebrate the anniversary of the landing, April 2nd, when the date we should be commemorating is June 14th, the day of the surrender. And nobody gives a fuck about us. Broken bodies, shattered spirits, malfunctioning minds, damaged goods. We remind them of their own foolishness. We embarrass them.
A calamity of human proportions. But that isn't all, is it? That's just the part you can recite. It's easier to press play and say your speech. Let me see your arms, James. Can I touch your arm? So many little branches, like fractals. But there's more. Oh, so much more. Close your eyes, too, and you can come with me.
Santiago! Santiago! ¿Dónde estás? Santiago! ¡Te van a matar, Santiago!
Ramón, ¿qué saliste? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Basta bien, basta bien. Háblame, Ramón, ¿qué pasó?
There was no wound. I wanted to see a wound, but there was none. He was breaking from the inside out. He was killed by the shockwave.
I think I see a couple over there. He's dead.
Oh, don't shoot, don't shoot. I'm one of yours. 29th Commander Regiment. They took me and tortured me. Bloody Argentines. They took my tax. Twats.
Your name, lad.
James. James Henry Walsh.
The Wara wolf, the Falkland Islands wolf, was pushed into extinction in the 1800s, and yet it came by to greet your friend on his way out.
I never knew if it was a dog, a wolf, or a coyote. There weren't supposed to be any large predators on these islands.
As far as I'm aware, there's no other instance in any part of the world so small a mass of broken land, distant from a continent. Such wretched, miserable islands, in fact, possessing so large an aboriginal quadruped peculiar to itself. Such a gentle, fox-like wolf. Oh, come here, doggy. Oh, too friendly to withstand humans. Oh, you won't survive settlement, fellow. No, you won't. No, you won't. But I will immortalize you in my voyage of the Beagle. Yes, I will.
That Darwin?
Within a very few years after these islands have become regularly settled, in all probability, this fox will be classed with the dodo as an animal that has perished from the face of the earth.
He looks young, doesn't he? He was only 24 the first time he visited the islands. Here's a fun fact. He hated the Irish.
What else is there to note? The whole landscape has an air of extreme desolation. Few sorts of birds inhabit this miserable-looking country. Huh. These rocks are interesting. This is one of the quietest places we've ever been to. Excepting some little geology, nothing could be less interesting. I guess it's time for me to go name a channel after our ship. Yes, I will.
What else?
What else?
Yeah, I want to see more. Aren't you going to show me more?
Oh, I don't know what you are talking about. I came to see the stars.
Oh no. Where did the other one go?
The other one?
Yes, the other one.
We are we and we are the other. It's always that way.
No, the other one, the one who showed me. The one without the accent.
I have things to do here.
Things?
Things. Just go.
But I wanted to see more.
Maybe you will. And maybe you will not. Go. And trust in your friend.
Trust him.
Adios, Santiago.
She's right, dude. Trust me. So, what did you learn? On your trip, what did you see?
You know what I saw, you were there.
I know, but I want to hear it from you.
Can we stop for one drink?
No way! What did you see?
Oh, things you've already seen, just one drink.
Things? Things!
One, I promise.
Things. I want to hear those things from you.
Dude, you are pushy.
Come on! I want to hear it from you.
I want to hear it from you.
From me?
From me?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Come on!
Come on!
Oh, you're such a child. You are such a child. Oh, you're such an asshole.
You are such an asshole.
Only people saw you right now.
People saw you right now.
Oh! Oh, Len! Oh, Len! Now he really went ballistic, throwing punches in the air.
Where's the money I gave you? I am gonna kill you.
Or tell us something we haven't heard.
No!
Oh, look, an ex-combatant engaging in self-destruction. How unusual.
Unparalleled.
Unheard of.
Preposterous!
I am gonna fucking kill you!
Warwick, tell us something we haven't heard.
You son of a bitch!
Oh, leave Mom out of this. She's got nothing to do with this. You ever visit her? Check to see she's alive?
Called her for Christmas, you idiots! I hate you!
I told you, tell us something we haven't heard.
Ah! Ah! Oh!
You realize I could just stop at any moment? I never knew how to fight. I could just stop at any moment and let you keep making a fool of yourself. He continued the dance of self-flagellation. Stupid at first glance, but essential to his restoration. We went down. What countries did we pass?
Most good students have no country problem. M as in
Mexico.
G as in
Guatemala.
S as in
El Salvador!
H as in
Honduras.
N as in
Nicaragua.
C as in
Costa Rica.
P as in
Panama.
Most good students have no country problems. Mexico, Guatemala, most good. It's a pretty good way to remember, don't you think?
Yeah.
Did you know we had to get in a boat after we crossed the Panama Canal? I thought you could just drive straight down to South America.
There's a gap.
Right.
Huge swamp that breaks the Pan American Highway right in the middle.
You're so smart. You know these things.
Did you have an explanation for that?
Yeah, I showed up after we were done with school, so I'm the side of you who doesn't remember the kind of general knowledge.
Right.
But I have other memories.
Right. That.
How you doing?
Me? Why? I'm fine. This is turning into a nice vacation.
No, really. How you doing? You haven't spoken much since.
Since the witch allowed me to visualize clearly for the first time ever the moment I got out of the islands and abandoned my friends.
You didn't abandon them.
Well,
Felipe and Ramon were already dead. You saved yourself.
so what's the plan?
Plan?
The plan? Us, the trip, the money.
Well, as far as us, you seem to have that under control. No more gambling. Stone cold sober. No withdrawal symptoms.
Stone cold.
Stone cold for your rocky road.
Rocky Road. I miss the girls.
We should get you a phone so you can call them. But first, what day is today?
February 21st. Why?
Of what year?
2007. You are a pain in my ass.
There you go. Let's keep rolling.
I think I've heard that before.
Yes. I asked you the same thing when we left Seattle. 2007.
2007. Has it really been that long?
25 years, dude. Time flies. Can't believe it took you half a continent to figure that out. We found ourselves in Ecuador.
Seeing wonders we had never seen before.
The bottle he miraculously left behind.
As a matter of fact, I was no longer inclined.
Yes, I just did. I'm ready for bed. And are you brushing your teeth every night, puppy?
Yes, most nights and most mornings. Where's your sister?
She's asleep.
All right.
Can you tell me a story, puppy?
A story? What kind?
Prince and princess? This time the prince can be the hero if you want.
All right. Let me see. How about a story with the scouts and the knights?
Okay. Once upon a time?
Once upon a time, there was a very young, silly scout who was sent to fight in a war in a land very far away.
How far away?
Far away enough he didn't even know what the land looked like or how he would get there. So at his family's farewell dinner, his grandma gave him a potion that would keep him safe from any dangers. Still, he was very sad to say goodbye to his family.
Did he cry?
Cried the whole trip. He'd been told that only Girl Scouts cries, so he was hiding his face from everyone else, afraid that he would be mocked and teased for his weakness. He was especially afraid of the meanie major, who had told him that he didn't have what it took to be a scout.
Why?
He was too skinny, too young, too silly. But when he looked around, he realized that the other young scouts, like him, were crying too. And he thought of his grandma, who was the only one who had told him it was okay to cry.
Okay.
They arrived at a rocky and desolate place surrounded by water.
An island?
An island. And it happened to be the silly scout's birthday, so this made him even sadder. It made him miss his family even more.
Did he have cake?
He didn't, but his friends found a saltine cracker and a candle, saying happy birthday to him anyway.
Que los cumplas feliz, que los cumplas feliz, que los cumplas silly scout, que los cumplas feliz.
What did the island look like? Did they have trees to climb?
There were no trees. It was so rocky and desolate that no plants or trees ever grow.
What about animals? What mammals did they have?
But there weren't any large mammals that Silly Scout knew of. Some field mice, maybe?
Was it cold?
So cold that the Silly Scout thought his bones were going to freeze. He was given a sword to defend the island. But when he tested the blade, he realized it was a fake sword. And the enemy would laugh at him when he tried to use it.
And then what?
Then the Silly Scout decided he would try to stay out of the way of the enemy and hide as much as possible. Days went by, and he was miserable and cold. One day, he found some extra food, but the meanie major confiscated it. Another time, he found an extra blanket, but the meanie major took it for himself.
Why was he so greedy?
I don't know. The Silly Scout never asked. All he did was hide and try to survive with the little food and little clothes he had. When his friends were lost to battle into the elements,
No!
the Silly Scout cried his heart out. He cried even more than the day he left home. He secretly wished for revenge against those who had sent him and his friends to fight so far away.
What kind of revenge?
He didn't know. He didn't know what that really meant.
And then what happened?
One day, one of the naughty knights confronted the Silly Scout, and the Silly Scout realized it was too late to hide.
Couldn't he use his grandma's potion?
Yes, he remembered about the potion and drank it right away. Within a second, the Silly Scout turned into a naughty knight, clean, magnificent, and with a real sword. He deceived the real naughty knight into thinking he was one of them. They shook hands and became friends right away.
Did the Silly Scout like pretending?
He didn't have time to think if he liked it. Everything happened so fast. One morning they woke up to the news that the army of the Silly Scouts had surrendered, and the naughty knights had declared their triumph. As they were all climbing down from the mountains where they had spent the last 74 days and marched on the rocky road, back to the main part of the island, the silly scout, still disguised as one of the naughty knights, saw something that brought an extra chill to his bones.
The Beanie Major!
The one and only. He was marching down too, escorted by the naughty knights, along with the other prisoners.
What did he do?
What did he do? Even disguised as he was, the Meanie Major could recognize him. So the silly scout took out his real sword, and just as the Meanie Major was about to give the silly scout's identity away to everyone, the silly scout went after the Meanie Major. Ah!
That's pretty sad. And then what happened?
The silly scout went through a lot of trouble to set himself free. He struggled because of his lost friends, but also because of the Meanie Major. So he decided to become someone else entirely.
What do you mean? Another kind of soldier?
Not exactly. But now, you need to go to sleep.
Did he become a prince? Don't you have to be rich to become a prince?
Maybe he became rich.
Wait, and the princess. You told me you were telling me a prince and princess story? Tell me the story of the princess who was captive in a tower that collapsed.
Not now, baby. You have to go to sleep.
Okay, Daddy, one more question though.
What, Munchkin?
Do you think the Meanie Major deserved to die?
I don't think anyone deserves to die.
Me either. He could have changed.
Maybe. Okay, Rose.
Daddy,
Yes.
last question.
You already asked me the last question. You need to go to bed now.
I promise it's the last one. Why did they fight?
Why did they fight?
Yes. Why did they have to fight at all? Why did they even need weapons?
That's a really good question. And honestly, I don't have the answer.
Okay. Good night, puppy. I love you to Mars.
I love you too, Munchkin. To Mars and back. Tell June I love her too. Tomorrow, when you wake up.
Will I see the witch again? Maybe. Depends on what version of her you expect.
The one that helps me see things.
I know that. Would it be the one we saw in Mexico or the one back in Seattle?
In Seattle? Do you mean?
Yes. Molly.
I knew it! I knew we met that witch! I knew we had seen someone like her before!
She had me fooled too at first. Doesn't she remind you of someone else too? Someone you knew very well?
I don't know. I'm so bad with faces. But Molly, do you think she put something in my drink?
Did she need to? She could have dropped something bitter tasting like an aspirin. Maybe she just planted a few clues in your head. The bitter drink, the sound of her name, her love for parties.
you were receptive and went for it.
But I couldn't sleep and I was sweating like a pig.
Okay, so then maybe she did give you some ecstasy. Do you think she did? I don't know. Does it matter?
Well, it only matters because I came out of the encounter with 2 full bags of money.
Did you?
Oh man, you started with your riddles again.
What I still can't figure out is the significance of such a round number, 10 million. Except for the fact that 10 million is enough to set you up for life.
Look, bugs on the windshield like back in the day. Something so insignificant can bring back so many memories.
Grandma again.
Do you remember those super long shopping trips to Paraguay when Dad used to drive us to buy contraband stuff in the street market?
Kind of. I don't remember that. I wasn't around.
You always say that, but really, I mean, you were around. We were one, you and I.
Did he only take you?
Well, yeah, it was usually just me. Oh, it was boring. Took half a day to drive there. You don't remember?
Barely.
One time we brought Grandma. Mom was working and the girls were in school. They didn't want to leave Grandma alone, so we took her with. Oh, it was the best road trip of my life.
She was a lot of fun.
See? You remember.
Only a little bit.
I didn't have to count cars or trees to pass the time.
What year was this?
68, 69. I was starting in 1st grade.
Granny, let's play. Mambrú se fue la guerra.
Oh, you picked the hardest one.
Follow me. Mambrú se fue la guerra. Qué dolor, qué pena. Mambrú se fue la guerra. No sé cuándo vendrá. Ah, 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 ah. No sé. Oh, Granny, I taught you this song 1,000 times.
It's the saddest song.
Follow me. Mambrú se fue la guerra.
Mambrú se fue la guerra.
Qué dolor, qué pena.
Qué dolor, qué pena.
Mambrú se fue la guerra. No sé cuándo. I taught you 1,000 times.
Oh, it's the saddest song, so I forget.
I know. Let's change the ending. Let's say Mambrú went to war instead of having to fight. Your turn. What did they do?
They all decided to dance.
And then they played a hand clapping game. And then
Mambrú and all the other soldiers went back home to their families.
And then they played Veo Veo. Veo Veo.
Que cosa?
Una cosa.
Que cosa?
Maravillosa.
De qué color?
Blue.
The sky.
No.
Oh, the car that just went by.
No, it has to be something we can see the whole time.
Your dad's shirt.
No. One more try.
Your socks.
No. It's the blue veins in your hands.
Oh, that was hard. You win.
They look like tree branches.
Right, because your granny is so old that her life has branched out into many different directions. Each little branch is a clue into my past.
Granny, you're not old. You said you were going to live to be 100, so you have 39 years left.
Oh, your math skills are impressive.
When you die, I'm going to be an old man. Tell me a story now.
Oh, Granny's tired now. How about we are quiet for a moment?
I can't.
Give your brain a rest.
I can't. My brain can't rest because my mind doesn't quiet down.
Set it free then. Your mind doesn't stop at your brain.
Granny,
Yes.
I love you to Mars.
Me too, Jamie. To Mars and back.
Grandma was the best.
What did she mean, your mind doesn't stop at your brain?
She meant this.
This.
Your memories, your dreams,
You and I.
This trip?
What year was Grandma born?
1907.
So,
Yes, she would have turned 100 this year. She would have lived to meet my daughters.
you know that's something silly Grandma liked to say, right? She just picked a round number.
I know. But she didn't need to die when she did.
Se murió de pena la abuela. So you gonna listen to my joke now? Okay, maybe they will. First act, the Inca plays Pokemon, and his nose itches. Le pica. Second act, the Inca plays Pokemon, and his nose itches. Le pica. Third act, the Inca plays Pokemon and his nose itches. Le pica. What's the name of the play? Pikachu! In Machu Picchu.
That was the dumbest joke I've ever heard. Is this what this place inspires in you?
Well, I'm young. You gotta give me that.
You are young. Young and immature. Though sometimes wise. You roll your eyes. In order to be himself again, he needs to go wind up on a vision quest to return home whole.
To return whole and humble,
Machu Picchu was the place.
where James would finally embrace
The inextricable pains of his youth.
The unbearable aches of his truth.
Los Incas, una civilización avanzada. When the Spaniards discovered the Americas, they found that most tribes led primitive nomadic lives with very different customs. They were polytheistic and worshipped natural elements as their deities. They adorned their ears and noses with precious stones and feathers, and marked their bodies with whimsical tattoos. In Peru, however, the Spaniards found a very advanced civilization called the Incas. Though they felt a capricious attraction to the sun as their main god, and used the condor to represent heaven, they were very advanced in areas like astronomy, architecture, and agriculture. And they expanded their dominion beyond present-day Peru, all the way to Colombia in the north and Argentina in the south. In 1911, American professor Hiram Bingham from Yale University discovered Machu Picchu!
Bullshit!
That's what we say!
Vision quest! I really sound like a lost gringo in search of an identity. I left Seattle because I found a fortune and I didn't know what to do with it. So I ran as far away as possible to try to keep it. I thought if I could go far away enough, I could solve my problems and become someone else again. So perhaps you would have me back. But the closer I got to what later I understood to be my final destination, the more I sensed I wasn't just carrying a fortune, but a chance to make amends with the past.
We've got enough to go to Santiago. Once there, You're gonna have to find a gig to gather enough money to get you in a bus to go across the Andes. I'm afraid this baby's seen better days. She's not gonna make it unless you take her to a serious mechanic, which you have no money for.
Wouldn't that be a valid reason to grab a few bills from the bags?
What bills?
You're funny.
Seriously. What bills?
Dude, do you need to start with your jokes again? You can't help yourself.
I think I figured out where the number came from. 10 million. It's like 10,000 plus 3 more zeros.
From Peru.
You've always been puzzled by the use of commas and periods in the number in Spanish versus English, right? So that night in Seattle, you were tripping, or whatever, and must have gotten confused, and then came up with that number. What you were really thinking about was 10,000.
Oh. I've been contemplating. What do you say if I change my name back to Santiago?
Well, given that we're arriving in Santiago de Chile, it seems appropriate.
Santiago Enrique.
You can stop the car now, Santiago Enrique. I'm getting off here.
You are?
You are ready. Spend a few days here, gather some money, then take the bus straight across the Andes and visit the soldiers' moms.
Wait, if they're still alive?
Will you try and track the sergeant's mom?
No.
Whew. Make sure you spend time with Mom, too. Go and see Grandma and Dad at the cemetery.
I was thinking I want to leave some of the money for Ramon and Felipe's families.
The money. You still don't understand.
Enlighten me one last time.
I'm going. They say you can't take it with you.
Hey, wait, how come you knew all along and still went for it?
It's the only way you can take this journey with me.
But
Remember when you were dealing with your split?
you pushed back against that voice in your head.
You kicked
Kicked
the
the
shadows that
followed you right in the ass and reclaimed your life. Took me a little longer. I could say a few months, but it was actually 25 years. Now, I'm feeling whole again. I need to take care of a couple more things. I'll be arriving just in time for the 25th anniversary of the war on April 2nd, my 44th birthday. I'll be there to remember all 649 of them dead ones. Most of them, anyway. And all of us 10,000 lunatics, those who are still alive, those who pretend to be. And then I'll fly back home in the hopes that you and the girls will still have me. One more chance. long, tight hug from your husband, Santiago.